Hey everyone! Today, we're diving into The Young Elites by Marie Lu. This is the first book in the Young Elites series, and let me tell you, it's a wild ride. I've got a lot to say about this one, so buckle up because we're going deep. Oh, and don't worry, no spoilers ahead, just my thoughts and feels. Let's get into it. First, let's set the stage. The Young Elites is set in a world where a deadly blood fever swept through the nation a decade ago. Most of the infected died, but some children survived, only to be left with strange markings and scars. These survivors are called malfetos, and they're treated like abominations. But here's the twist. Some of these malfetos have mysterious, powerful abilities. They're known as the Young Elites. Our main character, Adelina Amouteru, is one of them. After surviving the fever, she's left with silver hair, pale lashes, and a jagged scar where her left eye used to be. Her father sees her as a disgrace, but Adelina is so much more than her scars. She's fierce, she's broken, and she's got a darkness inside her that's just waiting to explode. Enter the Dagger Society, a secret group of young elites led by the enigmatic Enzo Valenciano. They find Adelina and bring her into their world, but not everyone is on her side. And then there's Teren Santoro, the leader of the Inquisition Axis, who's hell-bent on destroying the young elites. The lines between good and evil blur as Adelina, Enzo, and Teren's lives collide in unexpected ways. And trust me, things get intense. What I loved. First, Adelina. She's not your typical heroine. In fact, she's more of an anti-heroine, and I am here for it. She's got this darkness inside her, and the book does an amazing job of showing how her traumatic experiences shape her. You can't help but root for her, even when she's making questionable choices. She's complex, she's flawed, and she's absolutely captivating. Next, the story concept. I mean, come on, an anti-heroine fighting not just external enemies, but also her own inner demons? Yes, please. The world building is solid, and the idea of the young elites and the discrimination against malfetos adds so much depth to the story. It's not just about powers, it's about identity, prejudice, and survival. And then there's Teren. Oh, Teren. He's the character you love to hate. But he's also fascinating. He's a fanatic, sure, but he genuinely believes in what he's doing. You don't have to agree with him, but you can't deny that he's a well-written antagonist. He's not just evil for the sake of being evil, he's got layers, and I appreciate that. Finally, the writing. Marie Lu's prose is so organic and immersive. You can feel the tension, the fear, and the raw emotions of the characters. The pacing is great, and the descriptions pull you right into the story. It's one of those books where you can see everything playing out in your mind like a movie. The meh parts. Now let's talk about the meh parts, because yeah, there were a few things that didn't quite hit the mark for me. First, the daggers. I mean, they're supposed to be this elite group, but they kind of just follow Enzo and Raffaele blindly. Even when they have doubts about Adelina, they don't really question things. It felt a little too convenient, you know? Speaking of Raffaele, I wasn't a fan. He came off as insincere and two-faced to me. I couldn't tell if he genuinely cared about Adelina or if he was just using her. And honestly, I felt like he was the real leader of the Daggers, not Enzo. It made me question Enzo's role and authority, which was kind of frustrating. And then there's Enzo himself. I didn't love his agenda when it came to Adelina. I felt like he was using her too, just like Teren. And their romance? Yeah, I wasn't feeling it. It felt forced and underdeveloped. I didn't buy into their connection, and honestly, I don't think they belong together. It's like, hey, we're both messed up, so let's be a couple? Nah, not for me. Final thoughts. Overall, The Young Elites is a solid read. It's dark, it's intense, and it keeps you thinking. Adelina is the star of the show, and I'm so invested in her journey. I want to see how far she'll go, how much she'll give into that darkness inside her. Will she become even more dangerous and unpredictable? I hope so, because that's where things get really interesting. The book isn't perfect, but it's definitely worth picking up if you're into anti-heroes, morally gray characters, and stories that explore the line between good and evil. It's got action, intrigue, and a whole lot of emotional depth. I'm curious to see where the series goes from here, and I'll definitely be picking up the next book. That's it for my review of The Young Elites by Marie Lu. If you've read it, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with my take? Did you love it more than I did? Let's chat. And if you haven't read it yet, I hope this review helped you decide whether it's for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future reviews. Thanks for watching.